I'm wondering if I could throw in maybe a last question from me, and it has to do with the Chevron project. My recollection is that there was implied that there would be some local business that might be received from the Chevron project, and as the project has continued forward, it appears that there might be very little, if any, local business to the Brea community. How do you feel about that?
Well, one of the things we discussed, Chevron, indicated they would use local suppliers if they could. If there's local suppliers that has, that provide a service and can do so in a competitive way, that they would go with our local suppliers. Of course, I would support that. Anything that supports our local business is good.
But the fact that they haven't,
you're saying they haven't. I'll take your word for it. I don't know whether they have or haven't, because we haven't had a report on the solar progress at the time. The only report I have is when I walk in and I look up all the scaffolding, things on the roof and big cranes down there going up and down. And, I said, well, something's happening, but I don't know.
Well, I have one question from Debbie. Is anybody else who just feels like they have to, because we're close to winding it up here?
That's kind of a follow-up to your question. Since it was stated that local suppliers would be used, would asking for a report to learn whether that has been followed through, and if not, why not? Wouldn't that be something council could do?
That would be very appropriate that council could ask, or an individual member of the council. I will do it. Okay, I didn't think about it, but you mentioned it. Yes, I promise you I'll do that. I'll ask that how many local suppliers are being used by Chevron at this time, and what are the future?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
I might ask a question that members of the audience can ask.
Very good. Absolutely.
If we ever have another meeting.
Maybe after the election. Yes, after the election. Very good. Bill, I hope, since we're kind of running out of time, I would hope that maybe his redevelopment answers might be okay. Very good. So, with that in mind, the final question is basically directed to Roy, and it's: do you have any final words, brief statement, maybe a couple minutes that you wish to share with us as a summary? And after that, I guess I'll do it ahead of time. I'll let him leave with the last word, but I want to thank you all for attending. I mean, it's nice. We originally, when Roy got here earlier with his wife, we thought that maybe it was just going to be the three of us, but I thank you all for joining. And let's hear what you have to say as a statement.
I have no, statement. I tried to answer the questions, and they covered a wide range of subjects. So you sort of know where I come from, and those that know me know how I feel. I try to be open on. I put out a newsletter, which is generally once a week. Once in a while, things aren't happening in the city, and I'm busy on other things, and I get lazy, and I might skip a week or so. But I put out a newsletter, so I'm pretty open to what's going on. And the key to that is when you get the email, you can hit reply, and you can come back and you can ask questions, you can criticize me, you praise me. Occasionally something like that happens, but on this campaign alone.
Sure.
I am running for re-election to the Brea City Council. I'm out walking in the city. I'm probably halfway across the city. I've been on every street, on the west side of Brea Boulevard. I meet people and I talk to them. I can't answer all their questions or save them from getting their tickets on street sweeping day. I hear a lot about that. But I am interested in our city of Brea. I've lived here 50 years. I'm not a politician. Marty dies when I say this. Lindauer used to die when I said, I'm not a politician. You know, I always tell people I'm a public servant. I'm not campaigning for state assembly. I'm not a masochist. You know, I'm not any more masochist than being on the city council is. So I'm open to your comments. I'll stick around. If you have questions, a lot of times people don't want to ask questions in the public forum. I'll be here. If you have a question you just want to ask me, I'm happy to do that. I think I'm the only city councilman with a list of phone numbers. So if you want to call me, feel free to call me at home. I have no problem. I even got one at 3 a.m. one time. And I got up and answered this person's question. Good friend of mine, by the way. I guess that's why I thought they could call it 3. But I don't work that late. Anyway, I'm open to you, and I would ask that that you give me consideration when you vote in November.
Thank you very much.
That's